The artwork is a 20-minute video presented inside a 7-metre wide inflatable planetarium dome, which I call the Video Dome. I wanted to make a piece that blew people's minds, and I actually think some of the material blows my mind. So I was approached by Heloise Lorimer from the Mandurah City Council, who asked me if I'd be interested in being involved in the Stretch Festival, and I showed her some video clips where I'd been working with video of a performance of Swan Lake, a ballet performance, and I'd been kind of experimenting with this work and had come up with some things that I thought were quite interesting, and I showed them to Heloise and said, look, what I'd be interested in doing is using this technique but working with a choreographer or a dancer.
The stuff that Dave's working in is not literal at all, it's very abstract. It helps us shift perspective, it helps people kind of approach themselves differently as well as the particular work that we're making.
The film is called Stretched. That's partly because it's in the Stretch Festival, but it's also because the techniques that I'm using for making these films kind of extrude and stretch time and reality. You'll also see that there are two domes. I also brought in Paul Burke, who is an expert in dome projection, and he worked out a system of using two spherical mirrors, bouncing the images off them, and then creating software to stitch the images together so that you've got a sort of crystal ball effect. And that's what we've got outside. And this has really been developed specifically for this festival.
An eclectic array of some of the stuff that we've worked on with different community members.
It's quite a unique event, going inside an inflatable dome and being inside a film rather than outside of it. And it's also an opportunity to maybe experience things that you're familiar with and experience it in a slightly different way. Heloise arranged for us to go to 4 different venues. One of them was the municipal swimming pool in Mandurah, where we did some work at night using lights, underwater cameras. We had Tracy Bent, a local underwater photographer, there to help. We also had the Supernova synchronised swimmers. We also have local swimmers who use the pool, and we included them in our filming. The second venue that we went to was Mercy Place residential home. We worked with some residents there. Bernadette did some dance performances and worked with the residents at that location where we filmed it.
Some of them got so emotional about discovering or rediscovering memories and experiences from so very long ago that they were quite emotional and so willing to share with us some of their histories.
I was boyfriend this and boyfriend that, and when we were 16 we were trying to...
So lots of stories were coming up, because actually what was quite interesting was that about 50% of them didn't grow up in Mandurah. They've only been living in Mandurah since their retirement, so they've been here 10, maybe 15 years for some of them. So actually we were gathering all these stories from across the world. We have stories from Thailand and we have stories from Israel, and lots of shared experiences where myself and one of the gentlemen, he was so excited to find out that I'd also been to Israel, and we'd both floated in the Dead Sea, because he can't swim and I can't float, and so it's the only place in the world that we can both experience floating.
Have you been to the Dead Sea?
Yes, I have, yeah.
You can see the water looks like oil.
It's oil and it sticks to your skin.
They also came to the Fish Trap Theatre at the Mandurah Performing Arts Centre, and we did some filming there, so that was the second event. Third location was again at the Fish Trap Theatre. We worked with the Wardung dance group from Dudley Park Primary School.
It was a nice natural symbiosis of my contemporary choreographic skills and practices integrated with the massive ideas that they had for the moves that they already practice. So we were able to just sort of, or keep their traditional dance as it was, and then reformulate their particular version of how they wanted to present that.
I suggested that we bring in Justin Wiggin to do the sound for this piece. So the project became a collaboration between Bernadette, Justin and myself. I got Justin to make a sound piece with the material he was being sent by community members, water locations, you know, the ocean, the wetlands, the river, and they were then going to send those sound files to Justin in the UK, and he was going to make them the basis of his sound work and to make it into sort of 4 sections. So the final piece is 4 sections, parts 1 and 2 and parts 3 and 4, and they basically feature the material filmed at those locations.
My name's Justin Wiggin. I am a sound artist based in the UK. What was interesting first of all about this project was the layers of technical innovation. That was done through testing boundaries of the specialisms between vision from Dave, movement from Bernie, and myself with sound.
Yeah, it's been really lovely to be able to do this with the City of Mandurah and showcase the Peel Yarra wetlands. Yeah, I do believe that the arts is a very valuable and meaningful way to engage people with environmental issues. They get to be imaginative, they get to be creative, and they also have an opportunity to really inspire and touch people as well.
Without even knowing he's doing it, so this is the task. So can you show me, can you keep doing that movement? I'll do it with you, because we're all going to do it. We're all going to do each other's movement for water. So this is Kingsley's movement. So how about you, everyone give yourselves a clap. That was amazing. Yes. Well done. I think you should all take a little bow in your chairs. Yeah. Bow. Yes. Take a bow. Yes.
John down under the water.
Yeah, we just made a dance piece together. You can do it in your imagination. You know, we've taken a really simple concept that's very universal, not just to people of Mandurah but across the world. It's just water. What is your experience of water? Because we are 80% water as a being, and we are definitely water dwellers in Mandurah. So it's something that just immediately generates lots of engagement for people.
I've been heavily influenced by the artist Anthony Tappis, who said, artists may not be able to change the world, but we can change the way that we look at it. And in a way, that's what I've been trying to do by changing the way that we see something that's familiar, because A, we're looking at it from a slightly different point of view, we're also experiencing it in a slightly different way.